Well, we all start out somewhere, and this is where I started out with my miter saw and basically my contracting career over probably, I think, 10, 11 years ago now. And it morphed into this. The two saws that I think I'm basically done with as far as miter saws. I can basically do anything I need to, and I think these are going to be the last miter saws I'll ever have to buy. Let's get into it. All right, so we all buy miter saws for pretty much the main reason of making repeated cuts. Whether it's angled cuts, miter cuts, straight cuts, doesn't matter. If you need to make repeated cuts, you're going to buy yourself a miter saw. The purists out there are going to say, yeah, absolutely, you can do what you can do with a miter saw with a circular saw that can, bevel and all that kind of stuff. Yes, but the professional, the person who values his time is going to buy and invest in a miter saw. These miter saws that I have, the 8.5-inch Makita 40 volt and the 12-inch Makita 40 volt. Part numbers for them is GSL02Z for the 8.5 and then GSL04Z for the 12-inch. The 8.5, I've got reviews on both of these saws. I'll post links in the description, but 2 3/4 inch by 12 1/4 inch at 90 degrees for the 8.5. And then you got 3 5/8 inch by 15 inches at 90 degrees. Both have shadow line. They're very important, very, very important for me. They both have AWS, which means I can connect my Bluetooth vacuum to each one of these, and I get good, not great, but I do get some good dust mitigations. Sawdust getting sucked out, and it works. You can see here now. Obviously, I don't have it. It's not, my vacuum's not connected here. We're just doing some regular cuts as a presentation, basically. But the main reason for these saws, I don't think especially me being more of a general contractor instead of being on the tools, both of these saws are fantastic. I use the 8.5-inch probably 70 to 80% of the time, but the 12-inch, absolutely. When you need that 15-inch cut capacity, you need to cut down something huge, or you just want the extra power, the 8.5 is just not going to cut it. And that's why I would highly recommend, if you are starting out, like if I had to do this all over again, definitely start with the biggest saw blade you can do, because you're limiting yourself. Like if I brought, just the 8.5-inch to a job site, there's only a certain amount of work I can do cutting with that 8.5. So, and you can see I started with a 10-inch Hitachi right there. This is over 10, 11, 12 years ago, building out my first basement. And it worked out fine. Like it did its job. Laser, it was fine. But I upgraded. I knew cordless was the absolute way to go. Milwaukee came out with their 10-inch cordless, I think 8-9 years ago, something like that. Yeah, the saw really left a lot to be desired. You can see the underrail mounts fine. The ball bearings were not very smooth, so it wasn't a smooth saw by any means, but it got the job done. Milwaukee's first, hack, and they usually get it pretty good, following the footsteps of DeWalt's Flex Volt that came out, I think, probably a year or 2 years before this one did. But it did get its, it did make me money. It is portable. Very nice, not too bad. 9 amp hour battery. The 12 amp hour, high HD batteries were not out during this saw's, when it first got launched. But so as soon as Makita dropped their 36 volt 10 inch, I was all about it. I bought it right away. As soon as it is heavy, way heavier than Milwaukee's, but more accurate. You get the forward rail design, smaller, way smaller footprint, which I wanted because I didn't know if I wanted to work out on my trailer. You can see it right here, attaching it. It was a smaller footprint. Like the rail forward system, it's absolutely, to this day, even my existing saws have this exact same railing system. It is just superior. Yes, buy tools when you get, especially battery power tools, when you get the deals where you get the free batteries. I think I got 2 sets of batteries with this saw when I first bought it. Now the 12-inch did not, I don't believe it existed at the same time in my area. I think it's in the Kiwis in Australia, New Zealand area had them, but we didn't have them at the time. And so 10-inch it was. Highly recommend you guys go with just basically the biggest saw you can go with right away. That way you're not limiting yourself to certain things you can cut, because even though it's heavy, it weighs a lot. I think this thing weighs like 60, 70 pounds. Like I said, at least you can cut what you need to cut. It's 5-inch, 7-inch crown, whatever you need to get the biggest saw you can. That way you can absolutely do all the work you want and then a customer needs you to do. So, and I played with it. You guys can see I got a DeWalt stand here. I think that was, $200. I quickly upgraded to Makita's like WS-T01, T05 stands here. Both of them aren't that great. Now the STL one I still have in my garage right now, but it's just not, it's not up to the par, say, as the Polk system that I have, and you'll see here in a little bit. Good for mobilization, not bad. You can see I attached my my base Milwaukee vacuum to it, but there was no AWS, no Bluetooth enabled vacuuming or anything like this. And this is my first Polk station I built with it. Basically designing the Polk station with the design around it with that saw, and it worked fantastic. The outfeed's fantastic. The amount of space it saves is amazing, and that's what I want. And I like the forward grip, push down. I know the pistol grips are good too. With the new 8.5 inch, it has the pistol grip. They both are great, but I think I prefer the forward grip push down method. Just the way it's a preference of mine as well. So you guys can see me working with this. This is the saw that I used to build the trailer out. I made most of my money with the business, a couple of years going through, and you can see like the forward rail design. Yeah, it leaves a little bit to desired, but this is exactly what I wanted as far as the small footprint. I can absolutely use it inside my trailer. And you can see here, I am eyeballing the 12 inch when it came out in my area. I was looking at it, absolutely bought it. Boom, there you go, bought it. Still didn't even have the Polk bench for it because it's obviously a bigger footprint. This was a job we had to fit in because there was a customer who needed a wheelchair ramp built immediately. The 12 inch, better cut capacity. This is exactly the same saw as my 10 inch. I had the 10 inch as well. This is just a little bigger footprint, bigger saw, bigger capacity. That's it. Now, obviously the 40 volt didn't work. I'm not going into DeWalt's 12 inch saws just because I don't have the I already had the batteries for this. I already had the batteries for Makita and Milwaukee, and there's no reason for me to actually go to a third battery set. Yes, I had DeWalt batteries, but I'm not looking to buy a bunch of thousands of dollars of flex volt batteries. And Milwaukee dropped their 7.25 inch miter saw, dual bevel miter saw. I instantly picked this up because of the weight. It only weighs like 26 pounds. 26 pounds. And, you know, every M18 battery works with it. Just till recently, till I got the 8.5 inch Makita, I still had this saw. It is fantastic. I would highly recommend. This is the best miter saw Milwaukee has on the market. This one, and then the 12 inch. And then if you have to, the 10 inch, but there's no reason to buy the 10 inch anymore. Buy the 12 inch or buy the 7.25. So again, I ran these three saws, the 10 inch, the 12 inch, and the 7.25. Of course, I have other guys working with me, so multiple saws can be in multiple locations. That's the best thing here. Obviously, I set my tent up, working out the trailer at my house. Obviously, you can see the DirecTV in the background with the wireless receiver, just working, doing stuff, building stuff out. I think I was building a new a bench right there. And then this is exactly what it is. You need the 12 inch for obviously the higher cut capacity, but you can slam that 7.25 inch or the 8.5 inch where you need it. I'll have to rotate that. I think I need to rotate that picture, but you guys can see pretty simple, pretty straightforward, having the Polk bench with the miter saw. And this is the quintessential best way that I have found to actually have a workstation on site. Now, I will say, you guys are going to be in the comment section, cordless is blah, blah, blah. For me, being on the workstation at the job site, cordless is absolutely invaluable. If you're in a wood shop in your own garage or whatever, I don't see the return on investment for a cordless saw because you can plug it in, keep it plugged in. It's never going anywhere. You have a dedicated miter station. It's never going to move in your workstation, your cabinet shop, whatever it is. Absolutely 100%. But me, I'm in everybody's house, basements, this and that. I need cords, just are a trip hazard, and they are absolutely a hindrance on the job site 100%. And here we go. This is when I bought the 12 inch 40 volt, and I basically bought a bunch of stuff because obviously I was a big fan. I'm completely invested in going to 40 volt over my 18 volt Makita, 36 volt Makita stuff. So heavily invested in it. Yes, everything, excuse me, everything in the saw is pretty much the exact same except for the 40 volt system. And I got a Shadowline. Shadowline is fantastic. Shadowline is the only reason I dislike the Makita 10 and 12 inch. They had the laser. I wanted Shadowline is superior, period. I don't care. I love the Shadowline. And you can see a couple pictures of the two saws, pretty much identical. The weight is identical. You get the little graphite / titanium look as opposed to the aluminum look on the 36 volt. Both saws, fantastic. Both saws heavy as hell. I'm not even going to pretend they're not. They are heavy. These are not the ones you want to lug upstairs all the time, but you set them, they work. Very accurate out of the box. You do have to do a little bit of adjustments, but man, the fences are fantastic. And I've got absolutely no gripes and complaints about the 40 volt. 12 volt or the 12-inch 36 volt. Yeah, shadow line. Having no shadow line sucks. Two batteries kind of sucks as well. Now Makita has fixed that with the 40 volt. Again, I don't see myself going outside of Makita's 40 volt miter saws for anything that I absolutely have to do in my business. For one, I'm off the tools about 80% of the time. Two, like there's nothing if I have to have like say a 14-inch miter saw or something, then I don't need to do the job. I can pass on it or I can sub the work out. It is not gonna be a problem at all. And then I got the 8.5-inch Makita 40 volt. Came to the States. I know the Kiwis had it for a while, probably almost a year, but we finally got it. I got it as well. This one was actually given to me by my Makita rep, so it was a sponsored. I have since given this tool away and bought my own because it's that great. It's that amazing. Pistol grip. Again, shadow line. Makita knocked it out of the park with this. Yes, a little heavier than my Milwaukee 7.25, but I instantly sold it to one of my subs when I got this tool because I knew it was a home run. Plus, having one battery line for both my miter saws just makes it just that much simpler in my life, period. So you guys can see them here on my pollock station, my basement when I was building them out. Having talking miter saws absolutely saves on a project. I don't care. I mean, yeah, is it excessive? Probably. But it is definitely efficient. You can set one at one miter or one angle, set the other one at another, and you can just keep cutting and just bang through 2x4s, base molding, whatever you need to. So again, yeah, put it through its paces. Absolutely just fantastic. It goes very simple on the battery power, is very nice. Check out my review on this tool. It is fantastic. And again, I'm absolutely in love with this miter saw. For the weight, for what it is fantastic. In conclusion, everyone, these two saws, I cannot see myself needing anything else than this. I know Festool's coming out with their cordless Capex. I'm sure that's going to be the best saw on the market. I know there's going to be other ones. DeWalt FlexVolt, their new DeWalt one that runs off one single battery. Yes, absolutely. If you're already in a battery line or you like it, I know DeWalt has a great 12-inch corded saw that people been using, carpenters been using for decades and everything like that. So don't just take my word for it. Just test everything out. You can see I went through a couple saws too. I found what works for me. Cordless is absolutely one of the main things for me because of the efficiency that it allows me on job sites. And I have plenty of batteries. I have thousands. I probably have over $10,000 in batteries for all my tools. So it just makes sense for me not to be tied down by an extension cord. And my customers lose power a lot because either one, they're paying my electrician to turn off the power to upgrade the panel, or two, it's Michigan, pure Michigan, and I don't know, the sun shines and boom, the power grid goes out. So I appreciate it, guys. Like and subscribe. Just let me know in the comment section what do you guys think. What's your favorite miter saw? What you like, what you disagree with me, all that good stuff in the comment section below. We'll see you on the next video.